Before laws, before courts, before any witnesses, human history records its first murder. A simple field stone, ordinary and silent, can become a weapon in angry hands. And this story begins the way many tragedies begin, with envy taking root. After Eden, life is harsh, and every heart is tested in the open. Adam and Eve rebuild their days, carrying regret like a shadow that never leaves. The ground is their livelihood now, hard, dry, and unforgiving. Cain becomes a farmer, strong arms, dusty hands, and a restless, wounded pride. Abel becomes a shepherd, steady, gentle, and trusting, comfortable with quiet obedience. Two brothers, two callings, one family trying to survive a broken world. Everything looks calm on the surface, until worship reveals what's hidden underneath. Cain watches Abel, and comparison starts whispering inside his mind. Abel does not compete. He simply does what is right, without bitterness. Then comes the moment of offering, the moment that exposes the heart. Cain brings fruit of the ground, the work of his hands, laid on the altar. Abel brings the first and best from his flock, offered with reverence. Two offerings stand side by side, and heaven's response becomes unmistakable. Abel's offering is accepted, and relief softens his face. Cain's is not, and the silence feels like a personal humiliation. Rejection strikes his pride, and pride quickly hardens into raw anger. He walks away, but the anger follows him like a storm cloud. Envy grows in the dark places, where no one corrects it. Abel senses trouble, but he cannot imagine what his brother is becoming. God warns him, "Why are you angry? Why has your face fallen?" A warning is offered, an exit ramp, before the fall becomes inevitable. Sin is crouching at the door, waiting for permission to enter. Cain hears the warning, but he refuses the correction. The decision settles in him, heavy and cold, like stone. And then he turns toward the one closest to him, his brother. Out in the field, the soil holds a stone, silent, ready, unnoticed. Cain speaks softly, carefully hiding the storm behind a calm voice. Abel listens because trust is what brothers are supposed to share. Cain says, "Let's go out to the field," and Abel follows. Abel agrees, unaware that this walk is a trap. They leave the camp behind, and with it, every witness. Only sky and soil remain, an empty stage for a terrible choice. Cain's body betrays him, tight shoulders, heavy breath, impatient steps. Abel remains calm, still trying to understand what's wrong. Then, Cain's eyes drop to the ground, searching for something. A heavy field stone lies within reach, half buried in dust. He grips it with both hands, feeling its weight like certainty. Abel turns back, concerned, sensing danger too late. There is a moment to stop, one last chance, and Cain does not take it. The distance closes, and the air feels suddenly colder. Abel tries to de-escalate, offering calm where there should be love. Cain steps in close, the stone hanging heavy at his side. Abel lifts his staff, too late, unsure, unprepared to fight his own brother. Cain raises the stone to shoulder height, arms trembling with fury. Everything goes quiet. Birds, wind, even the world seems to hold its breath. One choice, 1 second. A line that can never be uncrossed. Then, Cain swings. One brutal blow, blunt force to the head, delivered with the full weight of the stone. Abel's staff drops into the dirt, and the sound feels like an ending. Abel collapses, stunned, breathing ragged, disoriented, fading fast. Cain freezes, the rage evaporating into shock. The injury is catastrophic. This is not a wound you stand up from. Abel loses consciousness, his body failing to recover. His breathing weakens, becomes shallow, then begins to stop. Cause of death? Severe blunt head trauma leading to collapse and respiratory arrest. The stone slips from Cain's hands and thumps into the dust like a verdict. There are no witnesses, but there is no escape from what he has done. He tries to wipe his hands, as if guilt were something visible. The world looks the same, but for Cain, everything is permanently changed. Somewhere, life continues, yet here, a life is ended. And Cain will carry this forever, even when no one is watching. He returns toward home, but he returns without his brother. A parent's heart senses disaster long before words confirm it.
There now.
Abel's kindness becomes a memory, replayed too late to save him. Cain hides his face, hiding from eyes he cannot meet. Guilt keeps him awake, and the night offers no comfort. Anger got what it wanted, and left Cain empty, shaking, and afraid. Morning comes, but Abel does not come home. A mother calls into the distance and hears nothing answer back. They search, because denial is easier than truth. Every step becomes dread. Every silence grows louder. They find the staff first, lying in the dirt like a warning. And then they understand what happened out here. A father holds what's left, trembling with grief and disbelief. The field keeps its silence as if it refuses to speak. Cain watches consequences unfold, unable to undo the moment. The first murder shatters the first family from the inside out. God asks, "Where is your brother Abel?" A question Cain cannot outrun. Cain answers, "I don't know," choosing a lie over confession. Then he says it coldly, "Am I my brother's keeper?" But the truth cannot be buried, even in an empty field. God declares that Abel's blood cries out from the ground. Cain knows he is exposed, seen fully, without excuses. The curse strikes what Cain loved most, the ground that once fed him. The land will resist him. His labor will no longer feel blessed. His punishment becomes restlessness, wandering without stability or peace. A life without home, without rest, and without the brother he destroyed. Cain fears revenge because he now understands violence up close. God prevents vengeance, protection, not approval, stopping bloodshed from spreading. Cain leaves, stepping into a future shaped by his own act. He carries the weight of what he did, even when he carries nothing else. Adam and Eve mourn Abel, and they mourn Cain's fall as well. Grief becomes their daily language, their new way of breathing. Few words are written, but the meaning is endless and heavy. It began with comparison, the quiet poison of measuring worth. Then it became obsession, a storm Cain refused to calm. Then it became violence, sudden and irreversible. And a life ended by blunt force, one strike that changed everything. The stone was ordinary, the choice was not. Cain lives on, but he does not live in peace. A father watches the world grow darker, wondering how this began. A mother learns that love cannot prevent every tragedy, and the warning remains for every generation that hears this story. Envy feeds anger, and anger searches for a target. Stop it at the door, before thought becomes action. Abel dies quietly here, but his story speaks loudly forever. This was the first murder, born inside a family, not on a battlefield. Choose humility before anger chooses for you. If you want more biblical case files in this style, subscribe for the next story.